From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
Hey there, the name's Nukem, Duke Nukem, and you're watching the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. For some unknown reason, enjoy.
I got
What's
the
going
there.
on, nerds? I wish you guys were here like 10 seconds ago. Rob, how are you, pal? How's your striped beard going?
I'm growing it quite well, as you can see.
It's a reverse skunk. It's great.
And the best part is it doesn't smell like one, so you could pet Rob and not get sprayed.
Well, Susie, how are you doing?
Yuck. All right. I broke it, did. It broke it, did.
You're broken. I'm broken. Because the only thing that was running through my mind is, well, but what if Rob doesn't like somebody? He might spray them.
What if I do like them? Then I'll spray them. This is a great start, isn't it?
Well, everybody, welcome to the Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast. We're continuing our X-Men franchise. We've gone back to the 2000s X-Men movie, as I am currently trying to catch my breath. I
You
didn't
can't
know.
catch your breath. It's already gone.
I didn't know it was difficult like that. But wow, I don't think we've started a show like that in a long time. Where literally Rob kills all three of us instead of just me.
To be fair, I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning. I'm not really sure I'm functioning on all capacities.
Also, to be fair, I've been up for a long time too. I've been playing Call of Duty all day today since I've had today off. I have been hanging out with Jess. She's been well, she's not there now. She's going to bed. But she was there. We were spending time together, her doing her thing.
Because today is a very special day. It's a very special day that we hold deeply in our hearts because, I guess not everybody knows most of our friend's story. But today is somebody's anniversary. How many years, AJ?
You want them married or do you want together? Because it's the same.
Let's do
It's the
both.
same day.
Let's do both.
We did that on purpose, so I can only.
I know
remember
you did that
one
on
day.
purpose. I
All
know
right.
you did that on purpose.
So
That's why my anniversary is the day I specifically picked because my husband can't ever forget it.
yeah, it's the day before your birthday, or the day after your birthday.
Day before.
Okay. I knew it was one of the two. So we've been married for 4 years. Been a great 4 years. And then we've been dating. Well, we've been together, not dating anymore. For 11.
Mm-hmm.
I've been around a while.
Uh-huh.
I've been around longer than most dogs.
No. Just no.
So, here was a present of mine. It's a Magic Candle Company Hocus Pocus. It smells good. I can't open it. Oh, there it goes. Oh, it's so good. It's kind of like, it smells like what a fall campfire would smell like.
So,
without the
anyway,
allergies.
the reason I brought up their anniversary is to wish them a happy anniversary and to thank Jess profusely for allowing us to do podcasts on their anniversary.
Yeah, I've already
Thank
done
you,
that.
Jess.
I've already done. But then again, she's going to bed because she has to work at like 5 o'clock tomorrow morning. So I'm free.
No, you're not.
No,
You're never free.
no.
Look at your left hand.
But I'm right-handed.
Yeah.
That's why the ball and
unfortunately,
chain's on
the
the other
contract's
hand.
on your left hand.
Oh, you meant the ring.
Yeah. Hold on. I'll be nice. I'll put my contract back on. My contract's back on.
Oh,
I've never called it a contract before. I usually call it a life sentence.
I blame my husband, because we got into a conversation the other day. He's like, "That's not in the marriage contract." Anytime we have a disagreement, it's "That's not in the marriage contract."
No, I like with you guys of you get Will in the divorce.
Yeah,
Hey,
I get Will in the divorce.
Speaking of our friend group,
Never get old. It will never, ever, ever get old.
where'd it go? Oh, it's right there. You know, I know he doesn't feel good, and I get not wanting to be on the show, but I'm hoping he's watching just for that.
I hope he's watching for a lot of reasons. The first of which is Rob's skunk beard.
So what you're saying is next time I see him, I have to give him tomato paste? Not tomato paste, but tomato juice so he can wash the stench out?
Sure, if you want.
I wish to God I could do a French accent so I could Pepe Le Pew the fuck out of you.
Oh, that's considered sexist nowadays. I don't know if we should.
And racist. The French are people too, I think.
Yeah, but they hate America, so.
Is that racist or is that? I feel like there should be another word for it.
I don't know.
No, it's racist.
Now I'm thinking about it too hard.
All right, so now for what everybody came here for, X-Men 2000.
Racism of a different color.
This was directed by now. We don't really talk about him anymore. Bryan Singer. For reasons that have to do with fondalization and but this glorious movie though, Patrick Stewart, Hugh Jackman, Ian McKellen, Halle Berry, James Marsden, Bruce Davidson, and the one and only Darth Maul. I mean Ray Park. Came out in July of 2000. It's a relatively short film at only 104 hours. Had a budget of 75 million and brought home
AJ, 104 hours.
Minutes. I said minutes.
Ow!
Don't
Ow!
Don't rewind and check me.
What extended cut were you watching?
I now have a question.
How many days is 104 hours? The budget of 75 million, but brought home 296.3 million.
It took you 5 days to watch this movie.
No. I might have started it on like Monday. Got through the first couple minutes and I was like, I don't have time for this.
Cuz look at that math. 104 hours divided by 24 hours in a day. That's 4.3 repeating. That's 5 days.
Well, give him some time to sleep. 7 days at least.
AJ doesn't sleep though.
Not lately. Oh my god, not lately. It's bad, and I can't wait to see the doctor on Tuesday.
So anyway, this movie is 104 minutes long.
You okay?
I'm gonna pay for my commentary in a not so subtle way later.
Might actually body slam you. Just what the?
That was a good hit. That was sound effect .wave hit table.
You know, knowing Susie, you'd probably do something like that, and she'd be like, "Wow, that was cool." Ow!
Like when James RKO'd me into a window.
Or, oh, that was cool. Oh, you cracked my back.
Hold on, time out. Into a window?
He broke it.
You know, granted, none of us listen to this. It does say at the beginning of every program and video game, do not try this at home. At the bottom of it, it should say, just kidding. We know you're going to do it anyway. So, let's actually talk about the movie now. This is basically the first iteration of X-Men in live action that we get. This is the first one. Rob, I'm going to start with you. How did you like the movie? Do you think it was good? And does it set up the possible universe that they try to create off of it?
It did what it needed to do, and more importantly, it did it within the limitations of the technology that they had at the time.
Susie, your finger was almost... I think I don't have like 3D glasses. I'm coming for your soul.
So I can't say I loved this movie. I did like it okay. I didn't fall asleep during it
That's a
at
plus.
any point when I ever watched it. But it's almost very by the numbers. You would think one of the smartest men on the planet would put two together and figure out that, it's not the dude with metal for mutant powers that has Magneto's attention.
Mm-hmm. So I enjoyed this movie because it was a Rogue and Magneto movie, basically. And I loved Rogue in this movie straight from the beginning, where I straight up thought she murked her boyfriend. Come to find out, he was just in a coma for 3 months. But I love how you get the cast. You get Wolverine, Cyclops, Jean Grey. You get everybody you need to, and it feels like it's not rushed. Everybody gets, for the most part, their screen time, and I kind of can see, and I think we've said this before when it comes to the X-Men movies. You could see where the bad guys are coming from. You could see why they're doing this. Maybe wouldn't go about it that way, but when
Every year it gets harder and harder to say Magneto is wrong.
Yeah, right. It's like when you're a child, you idolize Batman, but when you get older, you realize Joker kind of was right. But I very much enjoyed how they portrayed this movie. That Magneto's going to make everybody have superpowers, because when everybody's got superpowers, nobody's super. What movie is that from? What Disney movie is that line from?
Incredibles.
You son of a...
Boom.
Damn. Okay. Well, bleep me to bleep in hell. Susie, what are your thoughts?
So as most people will tell you, I'm a very big Rogue fan. Mainly because she is an outcast with her powers and learning how to control them.
Yeah, but she self-outcasts.
No.
In this movie, she did.
In this movie, yes. But if you read up in the comics, it's not entirely a self-outcast. She recognizes what her powers can do, and so she, makes sure she's protected and everything else. But there are people that are afraid of her because of what she can do. So it's a mix of self-outcast and normal societal outcast. But I think this movie really portrayed Rogue and Wolverine and their relationship. Because if you watch a lot of the X-Men series, animated or clearly in the live action, Rogue and Wolverine have always had a very interesting relationship.
Not always
and
appropriate, by the way,
not always
for
appropriate,
the
but
for the age gap.
yeah.
Sorry, gap.
Yeah, but it's always been an interesting, so it's either been like, mentor and student, or like father daughter, or
I
best
mean,
friends, and like, so they've always had like a very, or lovers, like, but throughout history they've always had a very unique relationship because they're societal outcasts.
if Wolverine can't age,
Mhm.
does he technically get older?
So he still has a birthday every year. So yes.
Okay, true point. I honestly thought watching this movie for the first time in 20 years, I thought they killed Rogue.
Yeah.
I thought Rogue was dead. Like, oh, he had one of his nightmares and lashed out. Cool, she's dead. And then they tell us in a way that she can take powers or borrow powers from people she's
Mhm.
touching. I was like, oh, healing factor. Oh, is Wolverine dead? Did she just kill Wolverine? Did she just put him in a coma like she did the boyfriend? Crap. We had Hugh Jackman.
Would have been really awkward if the mutant power she got from him was his animal senses instead.
Yeah, she gets off of him. Meow.
And it's like, oh, I can smell my death.
um, damn it, Rob. But back to how this movie portrays everybody. I also found out with doing some research on this that Brian Singer, is that what his name is? Yeah, Brian Singer wanted Russell Crowe as Wolverine.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I can't picture that.
Nope.
Probably because how good Hugh Jackman is at Wolverine. But
Well,
when he denied it, he told Brian Singer, "Why don't you try this person?" And now we have Mr. Comic not accurate Wolverine.
so, which actually leads to an interesting question that I will pose to the group that does not necessarily need an answer. Um, but me personally, I feel like this cast was perfect for the roles that they were casted in.
Abso-freaking-lutely.
I also, which makes it really hard when you're watching other movies and they're in like different universes, or animated, to have different voices for those characters, because you're like, especially when you grew up in the 2000s, you're like, no, that's Patrick Stewart. What are you doing? That's not Patrick Stewart's voice. But I do think that they like perfectly casted this. Now, the question for the masses is, and again, you don't need an answer, but something to think about is, if this was cast in the 90s or today, who would be cast in the roles?
Cyclops would be Nicolas Cage.
In the 90s?
Yeah.
Because that ain't gonna work today.
Well, yeah, you said 90s.
I said or today.
Oh, no, yeah, 90s, not today. Cyclops today might be freaking Tom Holland.
If it was the 80s, I would have said Mel Gibson for Wolverine.
Actually, Tom Holland would be better as a Nightcrawler.
This is difficult.
Mm-hmm.
I hope people in the chat help us out with this.
No. I'm feeling Tom Holland as Iceman.
Oh, he could pull off Bobby.
Yeah.
I don't feel like he's Cyclops. Like, he's just.
And then Jean Grey is Zendaya. Oh, speaking of that aspect, I don't think, well, watching the movie, I don't think Wolverine knew that Jean Grey and Cyclops were a thing. And when Jean Grey walks right by him, Wolverine goes. And Cyclops is like staring at him.
Yeah.
And then, how do we know you're not her? Prove it. You're a dick.
Okay.
Yeah, that
Uh-huh.
checks. Yeah. Good thing we don't have to worry about that because we just have to. How do we know you're the real Paul? I'm a dick.
Hmm.
Son of a gun. But overall, I'm excited to go into the next X-Men movie based off of this. As Susie you mentioned, everybody that they cast in this movie is who we, I don't know if wanted, but we see them now as those characters.
And that's why I said that they're perfectly cast in this movie. But once in a while, especially when I'm watching the first one, I constantly I'm like, because I'm a product of like several decades, that I'm like, well, who would be cast if this was a 90s? Like, because I would have watched this in the 90s. Like, who would have been cast?
Yeah.
And then I think about today, like who would be cast, and I feel like they could probably pull, given the time difference between when First Class came out versus now, they probably could cast some of the people from First Class into
Yeah.
a new X-Men movie.
Somebody in this outside of Hugh Jackman, Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, the only other real one that I can see in that role than anything else is Halle Berry as Storm.
See, for me, it's Anna Paquin as a Rogue.
And the only reason why I mention that is because we don't talk about the other superhero or superhero movie, villain movie that she was in. We don't talk about it. But it was good to see her reprise that role in Days of Future. She was Catwoman. In that
I knew which movie you were talking
horrible
about,
movie.
but my brain was hero villain movie, and I just couldn't.
Well, because in that movie, she's really not a villain.
That's why I was like, "What are you?"
And it was such a cruddy movie. Like, what do they call those Razzies? They're like the Bat Awards.
She won a Razzie Award,
and she actually showed up for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's taking it on the chin.
Yeah, I know this movie sucked, but they paid me a shit ton of money for it.
Yeah. Yeah, X2 is next.
What is that? Which one's that one? Last Stand? No, that's not Last Stand. X-Men United. So X2, X-Men United. I knew there was a word after it.
Yeah, but almost no one uses the X-Men United. They just know it as X2.
Yeah, because I remember the big DVD case. It's literally just X2. This is going to be interesting because I've never seen X-Men United or X-Men The Last Stand. I've only seen this X-Men that we're talking about today.
I have one more question before we go to X2.
Oh dear.
Hopefully it's a simple question. If you could recast anyone in this movie, who would it be and why? Do you want me to go first? Because I can already answer.
Yeah, go for it. Because I don't know.
The guy who plays Sabretooth. And I understand that a lot of it, he wasn't given a lot of lines, but I didn't like him as Sabretooth. I feel like
his hair had more acting than he did.
Hey, we do get to see him again. Rob hasn't seen the movie yet, but we do get to see him again.
Yeah, we do.
Rob, you'll know probably tomorrow when you watch it.
But he does a better job in that one than he does in this one. But I feel like I don't know.
He's in the other one for 10 seconds.
Exactly. That's why he does a better job.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well.
I'm not insulting the actor. I'm more insulting the character that Sabretooth is in this movie. Mm-hmm. But I feel like they could have gotten a different actor to portray it. Because
who would you have wanted?
I don't know. But like when you look at Sabretooth from the Wolverine movies to Sabretooth in the X-Men movies, and they're so radically different. especially when they're from the same universe. Like they're just so radically different. I
And it's kind of jarring because then they go Liv Shriver.
yeah, I think that's part of my problem is like now having seen the other movies and they go Leave Schreiber for Sabretooth and
And he
they
was
have
good.
guy,
I loved him.
my poor brain is just like that he was one of them was improperly cast and I love Leave Schreiber. He's an amazing actor.
Like one of them is this, but the other one is this.
Yeah, like it just if they looked similar, like I probably could get behind it, but that's just me.
Rob, any final thoughts of X-Men 2000?
Can we stop calling it
I
X-Men
had-
2000?
Well, because there's so many
have-
X-Men movies. Just X-Men. I've always heard it called X-Men 2000, so
Oh,
you know
this
which
one's
one it
just
is.
called. This one's literally just called X-Men.
I know, but there's X-Men, there's X-Men First Class. There's so many X-Men movies.
I know, but they all have subtitles. This one doesn't. It's just called X-Men. Yep. I'm getting.
So anyway-
come back to my commentary tonight.
I had one gripe about
Come here,
this movie.
come here, come here.
What's that?
And that was that Rogue in the comic books, again, comic book guy, I always come back to this. Her first introduction is as a villain.
Is it really?
Hi, Rusty. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Depends on which one you read.
Her
Because one of the
first
ones that I was reading,
introduction.
her, yeah. So she always bounces between villain and hero
She
until she
does,
finally
but-
lands on.
The first time she is ever seen in comic books, she is part of the Brotherhood of Evil.
I will.
Because Mystique is her mother.
Oh, and also, if anybody has seen the X-Men 97, does she really have an actual relationship with Magneto like that in the comics? Rob?
Yes.
I think, yeah.
Yes.
For a mutant with the power to kill people on touch, she gets a shocking amount of bedtime. Like, oh my god, she has slept her way around the Marvel Universe. And good on her. Like, I think she bagged God at one point. And
yet-
Superman.
And
Marvel's Superman.
yeah, and she always goes back to Gambit. In every story, she goes back to Gambit.
Which
Like,
Gambit's
God,
better?
give-
Oh, shit.
Can't answer that yet.
Rob, fuck going to bed. I mean, screw going to bed tonight. Watch the damn movie. Just watch the damn movie.
So, on that note,
It's homework
Food
at
for
this
thought.
point.
food for thought. There is a rumor going around. At one point, we were getting a Gambit movie,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it has now reared its ugly head again.
Whoa, ugly. I don't know ugly.
Well, the reason I say it's reared its ugly head again is because the last time we all got excited for a Gambit movie, they squashed it. So, would you guys like to see a Gambit movie? Would we like to skip a Gambit movie? And if we had a Gambit movie, who would you want to see in it?
Well, obviously Gambit.
Do you want my no kidding Sherlock now, or would you like it later?
I don't really know a lot of Gambit villains. I really don't. Marvel is I enjoy it. I'm not like how I am with DC.
Mm-hmm.
But I would like to see the guy that's supposed to play Gambit 10 years ago play Gambit.
Okay. I was
Granted-
more talking about if there was any X-Men because there's not. Gambit is one of the sewer rats, so a lot of his villains, so to speak, are thieves.
Are we ever going to get the Morlocks?
Oh, I hope so. I hope so. Such a good storyline.
Hey, AJ, do you know who the Morlocks are?
No. Not a clue.
So imagine if the Thing was a mutant power, and every physical mutation
Hmm.
just got shunned, and they all ended up in the New York sewers.
Messing around with the Ninja Turtles.
That, I think, is a crossover.
Seriously?
I think. Man, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles crossover with goddamn everything. There is a live action adaptation of TMNT and Power Rangers.
I think there is a
so
a
stupid.
crossover between Marvel and
It was.
TMNT.
There's one for definitely DC because I think it's Batman and Robin versus TMNT.
Yes. Good.
That
It's a good
that
movie.
Batman versus Shredder fight was amazing.
But any last thoughts for X-Men? See, Susie, I didn't say 2000 this time. Ow.
No. I don't have any other thoughts.
Ow. That
It
muscle
was a
doesn't
good starting
like me.
point. I think it was better than Fantastic Four for a starting point.
Oh,
Probably better than
let's not
better
talk
than
about
Ang
Fantastic
Lee's
Four.
better than Ang Lee's Incredible Hulk, I think.
Okay. Yes. Which Fantastic Four?
The original.
Who is
Thank
Human
you.
Torch?
Chris Evans.
Okay, that's how I
He's-
figure out which.
He's
Yeah.
he's talking about the one with Chris Evans. That's why I was asking him which Fantastic Four. So. Okay.
Which is funny because that's how I determined who's in what movie. I was like, "Is that which one is it?" I go, "Oh, it's the one with Captain America." What?
I will say
Well,
this movie is better than Captain America. Sorry, the one with David Hasselhoff.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah. Never forget. I will never let you forget.
Rob, I almost drove to your house and
'Cause I think I broke Susie again.
I was coming for you.
I literally thought you were telling me that this was better than the Chris Evans Captain America, and I was going to question your life choices.
I mean, we do that anyway, but
No, I question your life choices. I don't question his.
hey, whoa, whoa.
Did you not? Oh.
No, it was me banging my shield.
That's what it was. Someone so you knocked on the door. You okay, AJ?
Did you knock? I was like, no. Oh well, technically. All right,
Hey,
everybody.
AJ,
Huh.
you are the one who knocks.
On that note, good night, everybody. Have
I'm
a
gonna
beautiful
smack
night.
you.
Everybody should comment happy anniversary for AJ and Jess, and we'll see y'all next week for X2.
Yes, and our thumbnail and cover art that are behind us was made by James Fair. As always, great job, James. We love you.
Eh.
Mm.